All right. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Truth Disclosure 369 in the house once again. It's been a minute since I've been on here, about a couple of weeks. It's, sometimes you feel it, sometimes you don't. But as long as things are on here, people can go in and see, I got stuff here that I share or put my opinion out here. Um, you know, when I do get on here, it'd be because I was moved to do it. And kind of like today, kind of moved to do it. But before I go on, like to greet every person that may come across this video and the greeting word, universal words of peace. Hopefully everyone is doing well, staying out of the drama and the BS that is floating around us. you know, uh, I know one thing that I could say that I'm actually feeling kind of still excited about. Last weekend was a weekend in which my family had a gathering, um, which was kind of picked up from 3 years ago, which was the last gathering in which my parents were there. And this is something they always done to get together, at least once, a year or so. Everybody, families, people who got big families or people who have families, period. Everybody in the family don't get along. Everybody in the family ain't on the same page, but it takes certain people, to bring people together, and that's what my parents were about. So last Sunday, we actually had a gathering, which turned out to be very well, especially since it was put together by their granddaughter. And, I helped her back it up, and which her, my niece, which was at the same location as it was 3 years ago, and it turned out to be a blast. I enjoyed it. The negativity, the negative stuff that did go down could not outstrip the positive of what happened. So with that, I just want to get on here and just, it's kind of annoying with the news, the news cycle, how they got it. And, it's kind of surprising to me that people even uh, lending an ear to a lot of that crap that they got going on. But of course, the news was Queen Elizabeth passed away. And the big thing now is a lot of people's emotions and this and that are getting the best of them. You can see it when you go online. You got the best of both worlds. You got those that are saying, fuck it. She wasn't nothing. The royal family wasn't nothing. They were thieves. They were murderers. The Empire of Britain are responsible for some of the most inhumane atrocities that happen across the planet. And, that monarchy and all that represents that going back centuries. And then you got someone who say, well, that may be so, but she was a human being. She she don't deserve, death. She passed away at somebody mourning. And you know what? When it comes to that, I have to say I agree. I agree that nobody should play with anyone's passing. Whether a person feels like they deserved it or not. It ain't your call to make those decisions. Never your call. People that do try to make calls like that, they overstepping the boundary in which they were given. But when I think of it, somebody lost a grandmama, somebody lost a great aunt or whoever, somebody in fact, and they may not have been on the same tip as many of those named royals or whatever, but still a death occurred. And I agree with that part that, people should look at it for what it is, give respect. Just simply, give peace, to the journey that woman has to take, because whatever has happened, whatever she has to, she has sole accountability of all that. Like anybody else. But the thing is, this has been made into a big drama now, man, with which is it's like with all the shit going on, do a motherfucker really need to have more drama, especially with something that's so divisive as uh what's happening with now with Great Britain. So when I say this, I say it because I look at it from both perspectives, but also I look at it from the reality standpoint. I mean, no matter how much they play this stuff on the news, how no matter how much American media and all these other medias across the planet that act like they so against monarchies and this and that and all this other shit, or they about democracy, they ain't, that type of way is played out and all that stuff. Nobody needs that no more. But yet, you hear about all this news. This news take more precedence than actual shit that's happening in the damn country. So I mean, you from CNN on down the board, MSNBC, that's all you're hearing about is this. COVID has left the premises. Fauci has left the premises. Ukraine has left the premises. Starvation amongst people across the planet from the impact of sanctions, the impact of shit shutting down. All this stuff has stopped. Even the stuff about the energy crisis, everything has come to a standstill to give room for the world family and the pain that they are going through. And this is when I have a problem with. It's like, why? These folks know everybody ain't with the world family. Everybody don't agree with that shit. So why blast this shit all through mainstream media and all this stuff? Like, this is the only thing. Half the people that comment on a lot of these articles or whatever that's dealing with the queen, they don't know what the fuck they talking about. Black, white, whoever. Motherfuckers just like to be on a bandwagon, riding a bandwagon of somebody when they really don't know what the fuck they talking about. It's sad that you have to associate a lot of criminal and fucked up shit to a situation like this, but that part of the equation is also fact. And it's like they bring up all this shit, but they don't want to you got to bring up the good and the bad. Don't just bring up some shit that everybody, kumbaya moments and all this shit. Bring up also the bad. Bring up all this shit that has happened that's dealing with the crown period, whoever holds that office over in Great Britain. And the funny thing with me is it's like now this is an article from New York Times. Britain's world mourns. The world mourns. And that could be flat out. That's flat out disinformation. Everybody, the world is not mourning Queen Elizabeth II. Maybe certain people who have a little compassion or whatever, or people who grew up under that system of thought and that culture. Yeah, they may be mourning, but that's not the world. So for them to be constantly putting this shit out here like it's really a following like that amongst a lot of people, is ridiculous and it's false, and it shows how these folks are fake as fuck. The world mourns Queen Elizabeth II, Britain's bastion of stability, and yet their whole country right now struggling. And you hear more about this shit than you hear about the whole of Great Britain that's going through shit dealing with their energy. They know they about to deal with energy. They're dealing with financial shit as well. They ain't no different than what's happening over here in the States. But they try and keep all that little shit hidden, but people that actually from there or live there, they tell you this is what's going on. Ain't none of that shit they keep talking about on the goddamn news. So you got all this information out here, all this hobnob about this and that, and nobody wants to talk about the dirty, wicked shit that happened under the Empire of Britain. It don't even matter, man. It's not just about Queen Elizabeth II. It's about anybody that hold the crown, all the shit that has been done up under that shit. Nobody wants to talk about that. Nobody wants to talk about her spouse that passed away, earlier this year. Uh, was it earlier this year or last year? The history of these folks, man. Go into the history. Look up and see what these folks were about. The groups they come from within these countries, the shit that they were a part of, or they justified. And then you sit up here, you have people sit up here talk all this shit like they know these folks from watching some shit on CNN or watching some bullshit on MSNBC or some fake documentary that's not documentary. It's only documentary the Kumbaya moments. It's not documentary. The fucked up shit. Not only that, the whole aura around that family is fucked up. I mean, damn, look, the person who taking the throne now is William, Prince Charles, my bad, Prince Charles, and all the shit that come with his stuff and his various arbitrary views on the world and people. Come on, man. All people gotta do is look this shit fuck up, man. Look it up. The shit that has been said coming out of his mouth about basically the same shit about the World Economic Forum, the shit they push, all of that shit lock and step. But this guy here, nobody's perfect. I'm not saying that that a person should be judging anybody, but we all folks that act like they know about everything should know about the relationship between Prince Charles and Diana and what happened with all that. And then all of a sudden Diana dies. But Diana, to me, represented a different part of that whole equation that they didn't want to get down with. Diana, to me, Princess Diana represented a person trying to get away from that shit and was rebelling, doing everything in her power to do what was against the normal workings of Great Britain and the crown and the royal family and all that shit they did. She was philanthropic. She did a whole lot of shit to try and help more people. Everything, especially places that were affected by her country's involvement, whether it was war or anything, man. She was doing shit like that. And it seemed like, she was taken out. And of course, she died in a car accident or whatever, but it's still all type of question marks surrounding that shit. But there's a whole lot of bullshit. And look at her other son, Prince Andrew, the one who's guilty of messing with children and shit with Jeffrey Epstein, and all that stuff gets swept under the rug. So while these folks sitting up here jumping on the bandwagon and talking about what the fuck happening over in Great Britain as far as their crown and the monarchy and all that shit, it always be bugging me like, why the fuck is America always interested in what goes on in the monarchy and in the monarchy of Great Britain? The same monarchy you people back in the day fought to get away from. So why is everything that happening of such importance to people over here that we got to be drowned with it on all across the spec, the TV, radio, whatever? Why? I mean, right now here in the United States of America, I'm pretty sure in other countries as well, except for the ones that don't buy that shit, are playing all this stuff on all the news channels about this stuff. And folks over here, a lot of people over here, man, just be real, don't give a fuck. None of this stuff got nothing to do with how the fuck people gonna make money, how they gonna get. Matter of fact, people are boasting about this shit and talking all this and that about how motherfuckers should respect this and respect that. But a lot of stuff that was acquired through this royal family was acquired from disrespect of other nations and other peoples and other cultures and other realities. So who's the hypocrite when you start to talk shit about And I don't want to really get into this because it's foolishness and you can see it. Everybody see this shit. Makes no fucking sense. That we would sit up, and this is from CNS News. America spent more on taxes in 2021 than on food, clothing, and health combined. That's fucked up. And here it is. You got shit like that happening, and motherfuckers. So instead of people focusing their attention on the shit that's fucking everybody up, the agendas, the people that are bringing these agendas into fruition, the systems that are trying to uphold these agendas, that are really anti-human. Instead of motherfucker focusing on that shit, they want motherfuckers to be focused on somebody else's country workings as far as with their monarchy, man. Instead of worrying about that, we're getting force fed this shit, and that's not right. It's not fucking right. I look at it like this, man. Where was the my parents died from this COVID, this bullshit with COVID, the murders that were taking place in all these hospitals. And YouTube, you can take me off of here. I don't give a flying fuck. They already took one of my videos down. I don't give a damn. Because it makes the day coming when YouTube, Google, all these sources of so-called news and social interaction or whatever, media and all this other bullshit. The day coming when all these motherfuckers that try to hide shit, try to keep people silent on certain shit, try and infringe on people's rights and liberties and people's will for what they want to express, and then make up fucking excuses why they can't do it. And all this shit, the day coming when you're gonna be exposed for what the fuck you really are, and the cyber institutions that have been corrupted and are being used to force feed people with bullshit. So I can give a fuck if they take this down or whatever. But it makes no fucking sense, and it's fucking unreal how you would have motherfuckers more tuned in to this while everything falling around you. They give a motherfucker. It's like these folks always push out something to get the focus off of what the fuck's happening around them. And that's what people gotta stop falling into, that trap, man. My parents passed away 2 years ago through the COVID mass murdering program. And all these people that passed away, some people were parents, grandparents, all these older people that was around Queen Elizabeth age, up there in that same bracket. Man, I wish they could have got the same coverage. Oh yeah, we just moved the body here and blasted across CNN and blasted across MSNBC and all that shit. Blast all that stuff. I mean, damn. We're gonna do it like that. Why should everybody put all their ducats in and talk about the world mourns Queen Elizabeth when come on, man, people have been passing away, dying over the last 2 years. People have been checking out of here, not just from the health thing, but from from violence and everything. And everybody supposed to stop and don't move for this shit. Get the fuck out of here. It's already fucked up. Somebody died. And peace to those who are suffering from that loss. But how dare people try and force people to and claim that everybody's on the same boat with this shit when goddamn well it's not. So this fucking article that the New York Times put out, man, they ought to be slapped in their fucking, whoever wrote that shit. She had a fucking face slap. So you got the nerve to put this shit out and talk about the world mourns one woman who happened to be the head of the monarchy that is been guilty of some of the most fucked up shit on the planet, man. And the same fucking entity, this country right here, in its early in its birth, had to fight this same fucking entity for its supposed freedom, but yet turn around and be throwing this shit in everybody's face every fucking day. Sense. Makes no sense. Makes no sense at all, but it's how they do it. And like I said, you'd rather talk about that shit than talk about what the fuck's happening, what's continuing to happen, why people still ain't got their tax returns. Why, man, mind you, I actually got an update on some of the tax return. I actually finally received supposedly the tax return for 2019 and 2020. Still am missing 2021, still missing the tax returns from my deceased parents, state taxes, all that. But got the tax return for 2019, 2019 and 2020. And it looks like some, and you know, I want to keep it, I want to make sure that I put this out there for those who are waiting for tax returns. You know, the interest that, you know, is charged to you when you are late filing, or when you haven't filed, and they tack on interest. It looks like they did put interest on what they owed. So that's one thing that the sorry ass IRS did do. But it's still, you know, there's still people out here that's still waiting on their shit. I'm still waiting on more shit. It's sad. And motherfuckers sitting up and motherfuckers want you to worry about what the fuck happening in Great Britain. Sad, man. And you know, it's really fucking crazy that Great Britain is facing all the shit that they're facing, far as with the energy crisis and all that shit. And the folks over there, they're forcing people to be stuck on what the fuck gonna happen next with King Charles and all this other shit. It should be obvious. Some of the rhetoric that Prince Charles has been saying in the past has been the same fucking shit that a lot of these elites been spitting. So it's like, fuck out of here, man. I'm not gonna be on here that long. I just wanted to get on here and share that, man. Like, I had to just share my opinion on that. Like, you know, that it makes no sense that these folks are sitting up acting like everything. And even when I read a couple of articles dealing with the crown jewels, some of the jewels that were stolen or supposedly given as a gift, gifted, and then some of these countries want the stuff back. And you know, you got people saying, well, that was given to them and all this. Like I said, motherfuckers, if you don't know what the fuck really went on and you sitting up going by what these lying ass media sources and all that shit saying, then, you know, a lot of times that shit there it's not even credible. Fuck what they talking about. You know, these folks did a lot of shit in other countries forcefully that they don't want to talk about. That may have been some fucking shit gifted. But what people don't understand, hell, the fucking Native Americans here in this country gifted shit when the Pilgrims first came. That didn't stop the Pilgrims from doing what they did. So get the fuck out of here with that shit. A lot of folks just, you know, a lot of these countries had a lot of stuff actually stolen from them. And then it was legitimized through the monarchy. And British rule that, oh, since we taking over this area, why would take them, you know, this stuff and that stuff. Oh, yeah, you know, no matter, it might hold significance to the you know, the natives of this place. Doesn't matter, but you know, fuck that, man. These folks need to cut that shit out. Ignorant ass white folks, ignorant ass black folks, ignorant ass Asian folks, ignorant ass whoever sitting up here trying to clown and judge other folks for bringing up our opinion on certain shit. When goddamn, do more research, do more reading, do more documentaries and shit. Not the shit that's watered down shit that's put out here by these fake ass institutions that's supposed to be bringing you the truth on history and shit. Fuck that. It's enough shit out here on the internet. Nobody got no excuses. First thing a motherfucker want to say is fake news and all this other shit. But everything that these motherfuckers talking about, that's the fake news. Fake news is that the world is mourning Queen Elizabeth. That's fake news. Don't say the world. Just say some people are mourning. Don't say everybody, because everybody's not mourning. Some people celebrate it from which is kind of, I would never celebrate over somebody's death. I don't care if I disagree with them, they did something bad or whatever. I would never celebrate over someone else's death. That's just me personally. I mean, you actually had some people dancing in the streets and doing shit. Now I couldn't do that. To me, that's like a war, or whatever. When you find out, like, let's say D-Day, or VE Day, when Germany surrendered, and the troops were in Europe, and they were running around dancing and partying and all that shit. And then you think about all the lives that were lost, all the civilians' lives that were lost, all the infrastructure that was destroyed throughout all that shit. Nah, man, can't do it. A lot of whether you disagree or agree, man, my opinion, I just can't do it. But I'm about to get ready to get off here. I just had to share that because I'm sad. It's sickening, and it's sad that you have people out here, still stuck on what somebody else said, what somebody else taught, what somebody did instead of doing their own research or whatever it is. And I'm talking about every article that I've seen on Queen Elizabeth had people going at it from both sides. Some people, man, the hell with her, this, that. Some people, well, that's not right. You shouldn't be. And it's sad. This is further shit how they want people to be just talking shit, divided, and then stuff like this they would use to try and shut people up, to try and legitimize. And the people that okay with this shit, they would sit up there and go along with it. And it still stems back to people not knowing the truth about what the fuck going on. If you're from America in the first place, you should be opening your fucking mouth about nothing dealing with that shit unless you know about the whole what led up to the Revolutionary War, all into 1812, War 1812, all in more shit, on up. What the fuck these folks been doing as far as the crown of England throughout the history. If you once a person to be able to do that, and you point out all this shit, then a motherfucker began to see like, okay, well, yeah, it's sad that happened, but man, they wasn't void of their faults. That's what a motherfucker, that a person who could look at this shit with I'm gonna take with the open mind, can always be like, well, yeah, they went on just like this country. The sad thing about it is that something happened here. I'm not wishing nothing on nobody, but something happened here with a high profile official or whatever. Then you're gonna have the same fake rhetoric and all this shit coming out when you know damn well everybody in this country ain't on the same tip, and everything about this country ain't fucking hunky dory. No matter how much motherfuckers want to act like everything here is just so prosperous and this and that. No, this country in the shape it is because of all the hypocrisy and all the bullshit. Motherfuckers don't want to let a motherfucker know the truth. Sad, man. But I just wanted to get on here and share that, and I hope everybody continue to stay above the fray. There's much shit going on in the world, and it's leading to a overall truth, which I'm gonna get on here probably later this week or sometime, maybe sooner. Get into some spiritual aspects, because that's what people need to be focused on, their spiritual development. Not fucking worrying about what other people think. If you ain't worrying about your own spiritual development at this and what you can do to help yourself overcome this shit so that you could be a better example to those around you who may still be there's no way people gonna move out of the mess that we're in. I mean, eventually we move out of it anyway. You know, it's gonna happen anyway. Divine, what you call it, divine timing. But there's so much at play right now that these folks, man, they know damn well what the fuck they're doing, what they've been doing, what they're responsible for, and what has happened in history of dealing with these institutions and far as in reference toward the English monarchy. So once again, like I said, I'm not getting on nobody about how they feel or whatever. I mean, people gonna feel how they feel, but for media and all this shit, for motherfuckers to constantly act like it's only one side of a story and act like, oh, it ain't no, but then you got all these ignorant folks jumping on one side trying to bash other people and all that when they don't know they goddamn self, because everybody want to be in a world in which, they don't want none of the truths that they thought were truths to be found out to be falsehoods. And no matter how much motherfuckers think like that, it's, hey, man, it's not gonna happen like that. These folks been lying about a whole lot of shit. Yeah, I love it each and every day when I see more and more shit coming out, more and more truth coming out, more and more people are speaking on things that have to do with people becoming more aware of shit. So with that, I'd like to just send peace out to everybody. Hopefully everyone continue to stay above the fray. Continue to stay focused. Trust God. That's all the person. Trust God. I don't get into the religious stuff, who worship this. Just trust God. If you trust whatever you say you believe in, you believe in it wholeheartedly or whatever, you believe in a higher power or whatever, you put your faith and trust in it. I'm not the person to say, oh, well, you're not worshiping the right person or you're not doing this right. And the same vice versa. Nobody has that authority to do that to nobody. However, a person seek refuge in the Creator and gain that divine guidance, and hey, so be it. You do whatever's keeping you from staying out of trouble, keeping you from not killing somebody, raping somebody, taking advantage of somebody, lying on people, doing this and doing that, stirring up shit. Hey, it's all good. Anybody that's doing any of that shit can't say they being led by God. That includes me. And I'm guilty of that shit. Yeah, we all ain't perfect, but at the same time, we ain't perfect, but stop trying to give credence to where to God when that ain't got nothing to do with it. We talking about Almighty God. We talking about the source of all. So with that, I just about to check out of here. Greet everyone in the greeting words, universal words of peace. Take care.